Morning.
Excellent.
Good morning and welcome to the Smooth Breakfast Show. It's Business Express 981. It's a Friday and a Tech Friday edition. We are really excited and looking forward to today's show. I have Rotus with me. Morning, Rotus. How are you today?
Good morning, Ayo. I'm great. And Tech Friday should be Tech Monday to Friday.
Actually, I do agree. You've said this thing too many times. Stop threatening us.
It's the only good news coming out of Nigeria. Where else is good news coming out of Nigeria? Where?
There are many things.
Yeah, where? Right?
There are many things. Just, look.
We'll talk to management. I mean, look, see, there's a we didn't even get to talk about this yesterday because we had Stanbic.
Yeah.
Have you seen the amount of money that the federal government has allocated to the refineries to get fixed? So
yes, we talked about it freshly pressed, actually, yes.
1.5 billion for Port Harcourt, and then $1.4 billion, $1.4 billion for Odirri, which is where I'm from. Warri combined. I mean, look, so now if you want to get upset about that, we can rant about that. But why do that? Why should we rant about wasting $3 billion on refineries? Or we can just talk about the wonders of tech. Anyway.
Let's talk about the wonders of tech. We're going to be looking at valuation of tech and how realistic they are. But before then, this is how you can join the conversation. Go onto our YouTube channel. Rotus and me are live there. So go on there and see what's going on. YouTube is on Smooth 981 FM Lagos. If you'd rather listen to us and also send a message, you can do that using our WhatsApp platform. WhatsApp is 0809 444 0981. Rotus, over to you. So tell us, what are we talking about today in the world?
There's a gentleman. Yeah, there's a gentleman by the name of Linus Belunas. He's I think what does Linus do again? The country manager for Europe, and I think he works with Flutterwave Lithuania. And he put up this post on LinkedIn, which is basically poking fun at the hype around tech value. There you did. You put it up for our YouTube viewers. So he says, a guide to valuing your company in 2021. He says, I have an amazing idea. Your company is valued at $1 billion. Then if you have a paid sign up form, your company is valued at 200 million. If you have a product, but no users, your company is valued at $100 million. If you have a product with users, your valuation drops to $50 million. If you have a product and you're showing revenue, your valuation drops to $25 million. And if you have a product that actually has profits, it says not applicable. There's no valuation. So the point of this is, for anyone that doesn't understand here, as you can see, the company that has the highest value at $1 billion is the one that just has an amazing idea. So he's essentially saying that companies that show profits, that actually show proof of concept and what they can do, they're not getting value. It's just this cool idea, the media jumps on this new tech idea, and there we go. That's those. So
people are loving ideas.
Yeah, right. There's been a question around, are we overvaluing tech companies? Are we getting too excited about them? And there's an example with that, right? We can quickly jump to Kuda Bank. Kuda Technologies is the parent company of Kuda Microfinance Bank.
Yeah.
London-based Nigerian startup. And essentially, they just raised 55 billion in a Series B round. Yeah. Now, the thing is, that they're valued at $500 million. I mean, that's $500 billion. I mean, they're halfway to being a unicorn. A unicorn is if you have
$1 billion and more.
Shout out to Interswitch, Flutterwave. Those are Nigerian companies that are valued at over $1 billion. But the question is, people are saying, FOMO, are we sure we're not being too excited with valuing these companies? What these tech companies are doing is decentralizing services into this little device I'm holding in my hand. So you're doing all your banking and financial services from here, where you don't have to walk into a physical bank or carry out transactions. You can just do it from here. So the question is, are they being overvalued? Is this they call it FOMO, fear of missing out, where everybody you hear there's a new idea, they just jump in and start throwing money at these companies, and the valuations just skyrocket. Well, we use that in that list that Linus had. If you've got a company that has users and their numbers are growing, and it is actually meeting a use case. In our case here in Nigeria, it's financial inclusion, right? We got to get more people transacting, and we have to do it in the easiest ways possible with the fewest hurdles possible. And that's what tech is supposed to be doing. So, you know, they could have made the headlines this week with the fact that they had this year, because they had a pre-seed round of $10 million late last year. So in equity valuations, when you have a startup and you have a new idea, you have to get funding, right? So you've got different funding rounds: pre-seed, which is when you have your concept; seed funding, when your concept has to have legs; then Series A, when you've now proved that, okay, you can meet some metrics, and you go to Series B, Series C, you can keep going and keep raising money. So I think it was $10 million pre-seed late 2020. They now raised another, I think, $25 million in 2021. I think it was March or so. And now here they are with a $55 million raise in Series B. So it was pre-seed, Series A, Series B. So they've raised quite a bit of money. I mean, $55 million is a lot of money. I mean,
that's a lot.
$500,000 is a lot of money. So, you know, they are using this now to expand across Africa and other countries. And the question is, you know, are we getting a little too excited? I don't think so. I think that any company that has demonstrated, because their users has also jumped as well. The number of people who are actually using, I think it's doubled from like 600,000 in March to like 1.4 million now. So I don't, you know, there might be a little bit of maybe extra hype because it's tech and people think tech is magic. But these companies, these Nigerian tech companies that are actually demonstrating a use case, you know, I think they got something to show for it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good. Nice one. Someone's asking, and I knew this was bound to come up, Rotus. Yeah. Beyond the valuations you've talked about, on another note, allow me to digress with this comment. Larry Babalola says, Rotus, are you going to discuss one of these Agritech Pop Money Land Lagos owners declared wanted by Interpol? I remember how you used to warn all listeners in those days.
Oh my gosh, I saw the news. I wasn't sure if it was real. I think it was it Interpol? I think it was Interpol.
It was Interpol.
That declared them wanted. Look, the two of them, I think they called them Bonnie and Clyde. I can't even remember their names. I just know that they were associated with pork money.
Mairo-Ese and her husband.
Exactly. Look, you know, it just goes to show when these companies come up and offer you these type of services, you got to ask questions. For as long as I've been on this show, I have always questioned the Agritech platforms, because what is behind it? They're still farming. You still have to go to the farm. You have to plant crops, harvest those crops, and then sell them to the markets. And the same problems that have affected Nigeria's agricultural sector, perishable goods with no proper storage facilities, the routes to markets, no off-takers. I actually know that, oh my gosh, should I say this? I know this lovely farmer. When you see her, you wouldn't know she's a farmer. I mean, she lives in Abuja, and I have to go and see her one of these days. She's beautiful. I don't want to turn this into a looks thing, but you wouldn't know she's a farmer from she's a
Are you
farmer.
saying that? I think that's your stereotyping farmer.
That's what I'm saying. When you see her photos, you think she's a model. When I asked her what she does for a living, she's like, I'm a farmer. I'm like, what do you mean? Are you an agri-tech? She's like, no, I'm a farmer. I go to the farm and I have birds, I have a fish farm. I literally go out there. And so I've asked her to send me a picture of her farming and sweating, because just looking at her again, she actually looks like a model and exec. But she's talked to me about, she literally lost a bit of money from her fish farm because there's been issues with off-takers, right? Off-takers, look, all the labor that you put into farming, somebody has to buy your product, right? They have to buy your fish, or they have to buy your chicken, cows, or whatever. And the challenge right now in getting off-takers and in the routes to market, it's a problem. So Agritech isn't going to solve all those issues, which is why when, what's her name? Is it Osage or so, and her husband were coming out with pork money. Fisayo is there. Fisayo knows.
Yeah, I was going to mention, just the land. Hello, Fisayo. Good to have you on the show.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Thanks.
Do you have they wanted this thing for the pork money people, Bonnie and Clyde?
About it. I heard about it. It's a shame that people still fall for some of those scams. I mean, when someone guarantees you anything, I think it's the first sign of to run away. When someone guarantees you any form of return, it's the first sign, right? Because even Nigeria can guarantee your safety. I mean, nothing is guaranteed in this country, right? So it's difficult to say you're going to guarantee a certain return by making an investment. And to now be shocked that the returns are now high risk type returns in the range of 10-something%, top teens in percentages. And now, of course, know where all the legit investment schemes are. Government bonds, I know what their rates are, I know what the yields are. Capital market returns, I know what the yields are, what the capital market returns are. So how do you get your own, 19% from or 25% from? So it's just difficult. So I think this is going to serve as a lesson to everybody, and just question all of the, get rich quick schemes that we're seeing. And people will ask more questions.
Great stuff. Fisa, I really need for you to comment on valuations. I mean, guess what? If you've heard of the Kuda news, are tech valuations overblown? What do you think?
Okay, I think this is a difficult question because depending on where you sit in the divide, right? Depending on where you sit in the divide. If you're a tech bro, right, you probably defend, tech valuations. If you are a more conservative, maybe banker or something, that's yourself the question, like, hey, guys, does this really make sense? So take, for example, I've had this type of arguments around Paystack is a payment link, essentially. Collects payments, doesn't keep the money, just processes payments, send to the merchant and all that. It doesn't do any other things. It's a payment link. But that's $200 million, probably even more than some of the tech 3 banks that have in the country. So there are questions around that. I mean, Flutterwave is $1 billion business, right? And it does exactly the same thing. Payment link. Yeah, they have some additional products, data here, that keep money here. They do foreign exchange type stuff here. But essentially, their core product still is payments, right? So there are questions around, okay, are these things really, to a large extent sustainable? But of course, one thing we know is that everywhere around the world, right, tech makes things a lot more scalable, right, compared to building traditional typing. And then, of course, that scalability can be put into the evaluation. So, for instance, Kuda has over 1 million customers already in less than a year. I'm not sure any bank, I don't know any bank that has that kind of numbers, right, in their first 2 years. But of course, people did argue that, okay, but Kuda doesn't, they are essentially a wallet where you buy a recharge card for your phone, they are pushing their payment numbers rather than lending numbers, because the bank is financial intermediation, right? So Kuda does little or no financial intermediation. I mean, after their last round, they started giving out loans, overdrafts, and all of that kind of things. But of course, we know that the bank's risk asset is significantly much larger than what Kuda has. So there are questions around, okay, are these things overbloated or not? But I think that the critical thing here is scale, right? How fast can these things grow? How fast can they reach more people? How much impact can they make within a very short period of time? That essentially fits into the kind of valuation that they get.
All right, I can't believe we're out of time. I looked up and I just thought, oh my goodness, it's already 6:45. I can't believe this.
1 hour show. We need a 1 hour show.
That's what you keep saying, Rotus. 15 minutes, we're satisfied with it. Be content. Thank you so much, everyone, for your comments, your thoughts on today's conversation. A big thanks to Fisayo Odirri and Rotus, as always, for giving us the latest news in the tech world and making it nice and sweet so that we have good news, at least to wrap up the week. All right, let's do this again on Monday for Business Express 981, same time, 6:30 a.m. to 6:45. Next up, we bring you some information at 7 o'clock before we then go into Freshly Pressed 981 at 7:30. Do stay tuned here on Smooth 98.1.
Express, brought to you by EnterSwitch.
Thank you, everyone. Have yourselves a very good day.